Hey, this is Ryan from Throw the Fight, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
The Brutally Delicious Podcast.
Sweet. Hopefully my Wi-Fi holds up for us here.
I've been having trouble all day, so.
Have you?
Yeah. I live outside of a pretty big city, right outside of Richmond, Virginia, but I have the shittiest internet you could possibly imagine.
Yeah, for sure. My office is in the basement, so it's like the farthest corner of the house where our Wi-Fi is set up, and yeah, it goes in, and I've got my kids home, so like going upstairs is not an option.
Right. Well, cool. Thank you for joining me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So where are you located?
I'm in Minneapolis, so I'm like 30 minutes west of Minneapolis.
So are you getting affected by these fires and the air quality?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely noticeable. It sucks. Yeah.
I'm down here in Richmond, and it's pretty far away, but it's been not like New York. I've seen pictures of New York where it's horrible, but it's definitely hazy, and you could tell something's up.
Yeah, for sure. It's a bummer.
So anyway, let's talk about Throw the Fight.
Sure.
So for those not familiar, can you give us the 2-sentence boardroom elevator pitch?
Yeah, we're just a hard rock band from Minneapolis, and we've been doing our thing for about 20 years at this point. So been around the block for a while. Still loving it and still having a blast. That's
great. So I'm going to go back for a second. You said just a hard rock band, 70 million Spotify streams and 700,000 monthly listeners is not just a rock band, though, right? That's like
I guess I should probably
stuff.
I should get better at the elevator pitch. I don't know. I mean, it's just like, yeah. I mean, like whenever people ask us to describe the sound, like that's just the first generic umbrella that always comes to mind. You know, I should probably like niche down a little bit more.
But and then I know you don't want to be, too much of a braggart. So, but to be honest, 99% of the other musicians in the genre strive to get those kind of numbers, right? That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's just a testament to the fans sticking around and listening and just streaming platforms in general, like being able to serve it to people. So it's awesome. We appreciate it.
So when you're writing, like your new record is out on the 30th, right? Strange World of this month, so 2 weeks. Yep. When you're writing a record, are you concerned with those fans? Or are you writing the record for yourselves first? And does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. We're mostly writing it for ourselves first. I mean, we don't typically have like an agenda or anything when we go into writing sessions. It's always just about writing strong songs, like and for us, it's for me personally, like it's either a banger or it's not. It's either a good song or it's not. So like we don't typically try to overthink that stuff too much. It's more or less just having stuff that we're happy with first, and hopefully the fans like it and stick around and appreciate it too, like it too. You can't make everyone happy though. So some people like new stuff and other people don't, and it is what it is at the end of the day.
So with that being said, then did you overwrite? Like you write like a bunch of songs and then decide what's gonna make it?
For sure. Yeah, we're always writing and doing stuff like that, and pre-producing tracks and then pre-producing those. So typically when we go into a studio to do a track, we've already worked on it ourselves up and got it to a point where we feel like it's, maybe 80 to 90% of the way there. And then, we've always worked with some great producers to kind of help refine stuff and take it to the next level.
When you guys are writing, are you able to get in the studio together like the old traditional way? Because I guess 20 years ago, that's the way you did it, right? Bouncing ideas.
Yeah, for sure.
So you still...
Yeah. Still do that. I mean, we do that a lot less these days. Jeff, our drummer, he's in Florida now. Right. So we're getting together, typically only when there's like shows or touring coming up or stuff like that. But yeah, we used to do that, write a lot together in the rehearsal space. That was more like 4 to 5 years ago. Now we're basically just tracking stuff on our own, sending it around. And then we have a producer here in Minneapolis that we work with a lot. So we're constantly, going into his studio to kind of write together and work on stuff together.
So do you think that affects the outcome? Like when you're not all together writing and you're taking more advantage of, emailing stuff or using Lightpipe or whatever you guys use?
I think it makes us more productive for sure. It allows us to get stuff done way faster. I mean, like I said earlier, we've been around for 20 years, and to put it into perspective, a third of our catalog has been released just within the last 4 years alone. So it just goes to speak, it speaks to like how fast people are consuming music and just the speed you're able to kind of do things now. I mean, I think we're kind of at the point where we've got a good process figured out, and it's working better and better for us. So we're just going to keep doing more of what's working. And yeah, I mean, it's just so much easier to get more done now.
Absolutely.
At this point.
So I listened to the single Obey. What's been the reaction to it so far online?
It's been really good. Yeah, I mean, from what I can tell, it's been really good and really positive. We've been playing that song live, for the last handful of those too, and people seem to dig it live too. So, we're looking forward to playing all this stuff coming here.
What do you guys have planned in support of the record? Are you planning hitting the road?
A little bit. We've got 6 or 7 shows on the books right now. So we've got just a handful of like regional dates around the Midwest: Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, South Dakota, the Omaha area, stuff like that. So We've got about 6 or 7 shows coming up in the next few weeks. And then after that, we'll see what happens. Hopefully some more touring pops up for us.
So I imagine being, in this business 20 years and of a certain age, then touring is difficult, right? Especially with the price of everything. It may not always make sense, and you may have to do like that weekend warrior stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure. And especially for us, we're all in our 40s at this point. We've all got kids and things like that. And we've kind of done the touring for the sake of touring, like way back in the day. So for us, it's more about just being more strategic and doing stuff that makes sense. And it's more of like a less is more approach to it right now.
Right.
But yeah, it's more or less just kind of weekend stuff, and touring is few and far between.
Yeah, I mean, even like
but we want to do those opportunities when they come up,
I mean, I see like even like the big heavyweights like Anthrax and all these bands, they're canceling the tours because it doesn't make sense with gas prices and diesel prices and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, the margins are so thin on live music. It's tough all around for artists and for venues. So yeah, it's very, very tough, and especially for bands like those at that level, if they're struggling, yeah, then that speaks to like, even more so bands at our level, I mean, it's even tougher to play live and make it be profitable. Not that that's the only thing that's important, but
no, but you can't cover your costs
at the very base. Yeah, you can't, you can't be losing money, and you got to come on top at least a little bit. So yeah, it's definitely a different approach for us now at the stage.
I was reading a thing in Blabbermouth yesterday with, you may have seen it, with Dave Mustaine, and he said a day off is like $45,000 in between in between gigs. The pause of, transporting everything and all the salaries and all the nonsense is like a $45,000 hit.
Yeah, I believe it. For sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah. For a band like that, absolutely.
Yeah. Did you ever imagine you'd still be doing this 20 years later?
No. If someone would have said to me, you'd still be doing this when you're like 41 years old, I would have been like, no, you're crazy. But, we're still here and we're still having a blast. So it's still fun. At the end of the day, like, what matters is getting in the studio and writing music and recording music and releasing music. And just as long as we can continue to do that and have a blast, that's what we kind of like try to keep in the forefront of everything.
Okay.
Greetings from Evergreen Podcasts. We're rolling out a listener survey, and we want to hear from you. The information in the survey will help us gather statistics and in turn make our shows more appealing to advertisers. I know most people don't like ads, but this is one of the only ways our shows make money and help keep their lights on. We promise it will only take a few minutes, but the impact on our podcasts will be tremendous. As a token of our appreciation, we'll randomly select one lucky participant each month to win an exclusive merchandise package from Evergreen Podcasts. Head to evergreenpodcast.com/listenersurvey to help a show and possibly get some free stuff for doing so. We can't thank you enough for the support. Now back to the show.
So when you guys are writing a Throw the Fight record, and even more specifically, Strange World, is there something you want your fans to take away from? Is there like a message or a takeaway?
For me personally, no. I mean, I think that would depend on who you ask. If you ask Cade, who's our singer and does all the lyric writing, he would probably have a different answer. I mean, for me, I like for people to come up with their own, interpretations for the most part and form their own thoughts. And I always find it fascinating after music comes out when people are telling us, what the song means to them and their kind of takeaways from it, because it makes us think about it in a completely different way.
Like something you never even thought of, they're taking
Yeah.
from it.
Yeah, totally. So I don't know. I always love it, love leaving that open to interpretation. But honestly, no. Like, I mean, we never really go into it with an agenda or wanting something out of it like that specifically. It's more or less just like, putting great songs out or trying our best to put great songs out and getting them to a point where, we're stoked and we're happy on it. And then hopefully everyone else is stoked on it too.
Right. So skipping the meaning then, what about, are you writing the songs like for the song's sake or how they're going to come across on stage live? Are you writing the song and saying, wow, this would be a great part for whatever, an anthemic hand raise or whatever, something like that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at the very base, we want to make sure that everything we are recording, like we can execute live and play live. So yeah, that's definitely a thought for sure.
And as far as singles go, are you going to stick with the new business model and release singles every month or 6 weeks? Or are you going to just do sporadic and then the record? Yeah,
I mean, we haven't been able to do it quite as fast as every 6. It is definitely like a lot more singles and EPs. Yeah. I mean, we're already in the studio working on a couple cover songs. So once this album drops, like a new single came out today, the album drops on the 30th. And then we're already planning on putting out a couple covers after that. Potentially do another EP. And then, we'll start writing for another album at some point soon, So we're always trying to drop stuff frequently.
So you guys are really writing that much. I mean, or staying that busy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we've had a bunch of tracks. I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, we've had probably 30 to 35 songs released just within like the last 4 years alone.
As singles or as one-offs?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because the whole music business has changed, right? I mean, people like my son's age, they just want 30 seconds of one song. They may not even finish it. They don't want to sit down with the record or spend the time to know that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for us personally, that's just where our listeners are consuming most of the content. We don't sell like a ton of physical product. I mean, some bands are doing that, but it's more or less like for us, it doesn't always make sense to do a record because if the people are only going to hear the singles that get put out and then the rest of the songs, are only going to get just so much of a push, it makes it hard to justify doing that when you could just stack them and release them all as singles and give them more of an opportunity to get, some ears on them.
Right. So how on a personal level and how difficult is that? Because I imagine since you've been in this for 20 years, you're sort of in my boat, right? You're used to the physical full length and you kind of, listen the way the artist sequenced it and read the lyrics and you read the liner notes. So I understand the business point of it and getting it to the fans so you stay relevant. But on a personal level, is that a difficult decision to not release, records like you're used to?
Oh, for sure. Well, and we still do that too, so we still release records and CDs and all that stuff too. And I still love getting that stuff. Actually, this album that's coming out at the end of the month, this is the first vinyl release that we've ever done. So this is a new thing for us too. And it's pretty cool. But we still do all that. I mean, it's I'm not saying that, nobody still buys those formats or likes those formats. It's much more.
Oh yeah, no, I get it.
But
and you
I do
straddle the line, right? Because there are people like myself and yourself that love that. And then, there's people like my kids' age who have no interest in any kind of thing physical. They just want a digital download.
Right, for sure. And I think, I just want to have it available in as many formats for as many people so that no matter what format they, choose to consume the content on, it's there for them. Like so many people are just watching this YouTube. So it's like we want to have that there.
Sure.
You know, I mean, you just want to have as many opportunities and options for people as possible. Yeah.
In the end, though, it's got to be pretty damn cool. It's going to be satisfying to have a vinyl in your hand, right?
Dude, totally. I know. I got it here. There it is. There it is.
Yeah, that's great. That's got to be amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So what is next for Throw the Fight?
Well, you know, we got a couple other cover songs out after the album drops, you know, and a bunch of shows and hopefully some more touring. Otherwise, you know, hopefully we're going to Europe at some point next year as well, too. So that's kind of on the agenda as well.
And if fans want to find you guys, can you give us your socials?
Yeah, for sure. You can find us at throwthefight.com, and we're pretty much everywhere at Throw the Fight, you know.
Perfect. So before we go, I've got two things. One, I'm a big fan of James Lipton's Behind the Actors Guild or whatever, the Actors Studio. And he always ends with 10 quick questions.
Sure.
So if you don't mind, we'll do those. And then I need you to do a bumper for me at the end. So I'll just run these. One word answers are fine, however you want to do it. What's your favorite word?
My favorite word?
Mm-hmm.
Probably no, because I say it to my kids all the time.
What is your least favorite word?
Least favorite word? Oh, man. Putting me on the spot here. I don't know.
They get more difficult as we go.
Least favorite word? I don't know. Probably also no, because I don't like it when people tell me no either.
All right. What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Oh, interesting. Honestly, for me, it's just like focus and quiet, you know, like being able to like find the time to find that space to do that, because those moments are few and far between, I think, honestly.
What turns you off?
I don't know. Being in a hurry, I guess. Being rushed.
Okay. Let's see. What is your favorite curse word?
Fuck, definitely.
Yeah, me too.
Got to go with the solid F-bomb.
Right. What sound or noise do you love?
Probably feedback. Probably anything from a Mesa dual rec. So
yeah, nice. What sound or noise do you hate?
Oh gosh. I don't know. My kids screaming. Probably.
Three more for you. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Oh boy. That's a good question. I don't know. I'm a designer too, so I also like do that, you know. So I mean, honestly, I don't even know. I mean, we're pretty much doing what we've always set out to do.
All right. So then, what profession would you like not to do?
Oh man. I don't know. Cleaning sewers would be rough. Like sewer work.
Right.
I'm gonna put a no on that one.
And then the last one. Sorry, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Oh man, thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up.
Awesome. I hope that wasn't too bad.
No worries, man. Thank you.
And thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it.
No problem, man. Thank you so much for having me, Bruce.
Yep. Good meeting you. Good luck with the record, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much, man. Stay in touch, okay?
Yep.
Thanks.
Bye.
Hello out there.
Yes, hello out there, everyone. I'm Hal Schwartz.
And I'm Flynn McLean. Together we host None But the Brave, a podcast dedicated to the music and career of Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce and E Street Band are on tour right now for the first time in 6 years, and we're taking a detailed look at what's happening on stage in our bi-weekly episodes.
We've also been recently joined by some very exciting guests, including rock journalist Warren Zanes and Stephen Hayden, Backstreet's Magazine founder Charles Cross, and Barstool's Kirk Minahan.
If you're a diehard Springsteen fan, this is the show for you.
So please subscribe to None But the Brave on your favorite podcasting platform, and we hope to see you further on up the road.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you.